Hi everyone. Today we're going to make some really awesome, beautiful fall crafts. And we're going to start by covering the backs of our pumpkins with some craft paper. Or should I say the front. I just want to cover up this original design. And this time we're going to use Mod Podge to do so because usually I use my hot glue, but I just really need the paper to stick all throughout, even in the center, because we're going to be gluing these together, so we want to make sure they all have a strong permanent hold. And we'll be doing this to 3 pumpkin signs. I usually like doing this with the larger pumpkin signs, but I couldn't find them again, so I had to use this size, which still comes out really nice. Now that all 3 of my signs are done, now we're going to do some painting, and I'm going to start off doing an orange pumpkin. And I'll be using Harvest Orange, Apricot, White, mostly by Apple Barrel, except for the white. It's a Folk Art brand. And then I think I used Jack-o'-lantern, but I didn't use much of that one. I wound up not using much of that one. I feel like the Harvest Orange and the Apricot winds up doing just perfect. And maybe a hint of the white. But my main color is the Harvest Orange. I just really love that orange. It's so pretty. And it's like the perfect pumpkin shade in my opinion. And I think I wound up doing like 3 coats of that. Depending on your paint, you'll need more or less coats, but I think this wound up being my 3rd coat here. I also like doing all the blending and stuff when my paint is wet because it really blends beautifully. See, now I'm going in with some Apricot, which is this light yellowy orange color. Really pretty. I usually do shading first, but I don't know, I got excited. And so now I'm going to mix my Harvest Orange with some, what was it? Oh, Truffle by Waverly. Because that adds a nice, it makes a nice, shading color without it being too dark or too light. And now I'm just blending in my shading a bit with Harvest Orange. And you can go as detailed or as simple as you want. Like, this is just all personal preference. It's just so fun to keep blending and see what effects you get. That's probably what took me so long on these pumpkins. This is just so fun to keep blending. And right there I mixed a tiny bit of the apricot and the white because it made it an even lighter yellow. Really nice though. See, it adds such a beautiful highlight. That might be a little too much, so that's why I wind up blending that. And I just keep going till I like what I see. I mean, the sky's the limit. It doesn't have to be perfect in any way, shape, or form. Like I said, I just kept going until I liked what I saw, until I was pleased. Such beautiful oranges, isn't it? And this is going to be my top pumpkin from my topiary, so I am going to paint the stem on this one, but the other ones are going to be covered, so I wound up not painting the stems on those. And I think I've seen a couple of people do the topiaries, but one of the main people I've seen do them is Olivia's Romantic Home, and I'll have to link her channel below or some of her videos because She does such beautiful artwork, and I actually learned some of these techniques from her, so I wanted to make sure and give her some credit because she does amazing work. She's actually one of my favorite crafters on YouTube. So yeah, I really want you guys to watch her if you haven't already. And she's very popular on here, so I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if all of you haven't heard of her. I mean, if all of you have heard of her. Sorry. I'm stuttering on my words, not even making no sense. But yeah, I'm just adding some like little highlights to my stem now. And then if I make it too bright, I just wind up adding a little more brown. Now I'm going to do a pretty like teal colored pumpkin, and I'm using the color Agave or Agave by Waverly. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing that right. The same with when I painted my truck. I don't know how you pronounce it, but I'll make sure and link all my paints I use down below. Or I mean, not link them, but the titles of the paints and the brands. And then I'm adding my shading using, I think it was Truffle. Yes, it was Truffle. And then I just go back into that blue paint a little bit more and just smooth out my shading. Like even just that's beautiful. You really don't have to go no further than that. I just love to add highlight. And then I'm going in with the color Pool, like a swimming pool by Waverly. And it's this very light blue. It almost looks white on camera. That's how light the shade of blue is. But it adds such beautiful highlights. I could have just left it at that right there. Honestly, now that I'm looking at myself paint this on camera, I didn't even realize how beautiful it was just right there. But I don't know, painting is just so much fun. It's easy to go overboard because it's just so much fun to sit there and blend the colors out and smooth this color out. It's just fun. It's very hard to get bored with that, I'll admit. And I just really love the highlighted effect. It looks so cool. And all the shading just adds very pretty definition. Like I said, though, you can go as bold or as simple as you want, and it can still be beautiful, like no matter what. You could even just do some simple shading. You don't even have to do highlights. Like I said, it's just whatever your preference is on how it should look. And then I started mixing my agave color and my brown. And that actually is what I meant to do in the first place, and I just forgot, I guess. But, it's never too late to fix it, really. You can't mess this up. It's very hard to mess this up because you can always just blend and blend till you like what you see. And as I've said so many times, and I just keep repeating myself. But, yeah. I guess I can't say it enough, huh? Now I got this pretty peacock color, also by Waverly, and I started going around the edges. I just wanted to see what that would look like by adding a little bit of a definition around the edges. And you don't even have to do this. I was just playing around with the paints, and I kind of liked it, but I think I did wind up blending it out some more because I just thought I got it a little too dark. But like I said, I mean, it's really no wrong or right way to do this. I'm just, piddling around with it. And I encourage you to do the same because it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun just to sit there, blend paints, have fun. Because you really don't want to think about it too much. It just takes all the fun out of crafting. It's so much fun just to play with the colors and see how it looks. Like, watch it transform. That is so fun. Isn't that beautiful, the colors? I really love these colors all together like this. It's just beautiful. And now I'm going to do my white pumpkin. And I have this white folk art paint and, of course, the browns for my shading. And it's the Truffle by Waverly. So now I'm going to go ahead and distribute like 2 to 3 even coats of my white paint. And you can use any white paint you want. It doesn't have to be the brand that I use. You can use Apple Barrel or Waverly. Any white paint works. I think white pumpkins are just so pretty and elegant. I love that, how it looks so elegant. Simple yet pretty. Imagine having like a fall wedding and using white pumpkins. Wouldn't that be beautiful? I don't know. I think of these things randomly whenever I just, see stuff. Just makes me think of certain things. Comment down below if you ever do that. Just see things and you just think of other things and you automatically want to do it. And I did wind up running out of my white paint. So I wound up just using what I had on hand, which was Plaster by Waverly, because I had no other straight up white paint. And Plaster is just this really nice like off-white color, but it winds up just looking white, so that's good. Winds up working out perfectly. See, I was there trying to get out the very last bit of white paint that I had. Sure, we all been there. Now I'm just smoothing out all my lines, my shading. And see, with the white pumpkins, you really don't want the shading to be too dark because it's white. So the shading should be very light and subtle. And that's what I'm going for here. I was trying my best to get, that smoothed out just a little bit. And it winds up looking so good once I layer this plaster on there. And I just keep going and keep going till I get the effect that I want. And I wound up having to blow dry it so that way it didn't just mix all together and then look like a gray pumpkin. That's not what I wanted. But see, here we go. I'm just using some Plaster by Waverly, and like I said, it's this nice off-white color, but on camera and even in person, it pretty much just looks like a white pumpkin, so that's good. That's what I was going for. And now I'm just adding some of my shading back in because I feel like it might have gotten a little lost in that white color, but other than that, it looks really nice. See, the shading is getting to where it's faint. It's faint enough to look, more like shading instead of just straight up dark lines. And now I got my Cashew by Waverly, and I'm just going to add some pretty, depth to my pumpkin. I guess that's what you would call it, or a little more color. Now, I've got all my pumpkins painted, and you can already see how I was setting them, so you can see how I'm going to glue them. And I put some E6000 right here already on this pumpkin. I accidentally did it off camera, but now I'm adding some hot glue along with that. And I wanted to tuck a leaf underneath there. And I actually saw this style on a picture that someone had sent me. I'm not sure who made it, and I'm so sorry. But it's a really good idea to just tuck some leaves in there. It looks pretty. And I've had these fall leaves for years in my stash. I just never used them all. But then now I'm picking my other leaves that I want to use on this pumpkin. And I thought the reds looked really pretty for some reason on top of that blue. For some reason, it just looks so vibrant. It just really popped. And it screams fall, in my opinion. Now I got this greenish, reddish, yellowish leaf here. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing with my E6000 and my hot glue whenever it comes time anyway. I'm also just picking out more fall leaves to put on here. I absolutely love these fall leaves. They are so colorful and bright and vibrant. Yeah, now I start gluing this on. I get ahead of myself sometimes because I get excited and I just keep going with what I'm doing. And I'm just making sure everything is like really glued. And see, now I got my metal words from Dollar Tree. And this one says thankful. And I'm going to use my fabritac glue to attach this to my blue pumpkin. Or teal. And it works really good. And I tried not to glue it too low or too high because I didn't want it to interfere with my leaves or the leaves to interfere with my word. See, because I'm gluing some down below as well. Then on my middle white pumpkin, I'm going to glue the word harvest. With the same fabritac glue. And what I love about this glue is it's a lot like E6000. It does bond like glass, I think it said, and metal and wood. And it's a lot like E6000, but yet it dries a lot faster. And I feel it's not even as messy either as E6000 is sometimes. So that's why I like it for gluing on these skinny little words, you know, because as you can see, there's not a lot of room to apply glue. So, and hot glue is just as bad. It's like, for me, when gluing these, I tried it before and it does work, but I just feel like this is a little easier and you're less likely to burn yourself as well. I thought that was nice though, right? Welcome, harvest, and thankful. That's the word. And now I'm just kind of cleaning up where might have gotten a little bit of glue seepage. And then I got these two beautiful fall ribbons from the Dollar Tree. And I'm attempting here to make a bow. And I'm not even sure what you call this kind of bow, but it's where you like wrap it a few times and you could zip tie it or tie it off with a string. But I don't know, I'm not very experienced with these bows yet, so I'm still learning myself. But I plan to link a couple of videos down below where you can learn how to make bows, and I even need to try to learn myself. So as soon as I actually learn a little bit better, I will for sure film a tutorial for you guys on how to make good bows, but I'm still learning myself at the moment, so I apologize that I couldn't really make a good bow for y'all. But anyways, I will make sure that I link a couple of videos down below where there's some good bow tutorials for you guys to follow. Unless you already know how to make a bow, that's good. You're ahead of me. But that's okay. We all learn together, right? And see here, I got my zip ties, and I forgot to cut like a little notch in the middle on each end, which is something I saw in a video, but even when I did cut that notch, I still had trouble. So I don't know if it's something that I'm doing wrong or just something I'm missing, but I mean, it didn't look horrible, this bow, but I mean, I don't know. It just wasn't what I wanted. And I think I made it a little bit too big too, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like I had two problems. I didn't really care for how it turned out, and then it was kind of too big anyways. But yeah, I wind up making a different bow off camera, but that's because I wasn't sure if it was going to look good, and I didn't know exactly what I was going to do, and I didn't want to waste too much camera footage because I didn't know if I'd have room on my phone, and I'm still not really experienced in cutting things out of my videos, trying to learn that as well. But I mean, either way, like I said, there's so many tutorials on YouTube that I can probably link down below for you guys to learn how to make a bow if you don't already know how. And I need to watch them myself. But see, here I tried to cut the notch in the center on each side of my folds, and I don't know, I just couldn't I couldn't get it to stay right. You know, the way I was fanning out the little loops, but it just didn't work. So as you can see, I did make the bottom bow kind of the same way, the little loops. I tied it off in the middle, and then I made an ordinary type bow with the green ribbon, put that on top. I glued a little bitty pumpkin in the middle of that. So that's all I really did. You didn't really miss much, but I'll try to do that on video next time because that one I did like, that bow. And I'm going to use a couple of these pretty green leaves that we had pulled off the pumpkins in the beginning. And I'm going to tuck that underneath my bow on each side and glue them down, just like so. I thought that looked nice under there. I felt like I had so many bright colors, I kind of just wanted to go with something a little more simple right there. And it wound up looking good, so. And I also glued a silver leaf that I got off of a different pumpkin, kind of tucked into the bow. This is so fun though, just throwing things together like this. And now I'm going to make a nice little hanger for the back. That way it can be hung up or it can be sitting up against a wall or something. Like there's an option. So I just take a piece of twine and I measure to how long I need it and put a dollop of hot glue on each end and press it down with my silicone spatula until it's cooled off completely. And then I secure that with a piece of a popsicle stick. You could also use cardstock or cardboard, whatever you have on hand. Anything that's going to give it a little bit of stability. And now I'm going to secure my pumpkins that are glued together with some craft sticks from the Dollar Tree. And these are those nice sized ones too. And I'm just doing this to make sure that they stay together. They probably would have been just fine, but I don't know. It's better to be safe than sorry. I see it as you can never be too careful when it comes to that. And it seems to work also, which I'm glad. See? It's that simple to do that part. And here is the really cute bow. I just wanted to give you guys a close-up. See, I did kind of that triple loop, I don't even know what you call that, underneath, and then like a regular bow out of the green ribbon, and then glued a cute little pumpkin in the middle. And see, this is the full product here. I just wanted to give you guys a nice close-up of everything from top to bottom because I thought it was so pretty not to. And I hope you guys have a lot of fun creating this like I did. It didn't cost very much at all, probably under $5 to make, but yet very fun and looks very nice. And now we're going to create this cute little hay bale, and it's going to have like a cute little pumpkin and cute little fall arrangements on top. And I got this hay bale at the Dollar Tree, cute little mini hay bale. I've seen a lot of them in stock this year at my Dollar Tree. And I'm going to start off by taking two cute little fall leaves, the colors of my choice, and we're going to glue them kind of facing away from each other on top of the hay bale. I'm about to show you guys what I mean here. See, just kind of facing away. And then see the cute little pumpkin will go on top after that. And you can use whichever color pumpkin you want. As you can see, I have there like a red one and a orange one. You can barely see the green one behind the orange one. But yeah, I wound up going with the orange one because it's just so pretty. But I would have loved any of them. And see how easy this is, but yet very pretty, and this could decorate your home like so well. I could picture these sitting next to like some candles or just on a shelf. Now I'm going to take a cute little acorn from Dollar Tree, and now I'm just trying to decide how I want it exactly. And first I started placing two just to see if I liked it, but I decided to go with just the one acorn right there. Trying to make you guys be able to see this better by getting a little more close up. And I took this cute little pomegranate that I've had in my stash for years, and even the acorns and pumpkins I've had in my stash for years, and the fall leaves. Almost all of it. And then I glue that cute little pomegranate next to that acorn. And it added a nice like color too. And I was just cleaning up some hot glue that seeped out. And now I got these really cute little like scented pumpkins and pine cones. And they're scented like pumpkin. They smell so good. I would love to have a bunch of these around my home. They smell amazing. And I took like a larger size pine cone and then a smaller sized one. And I'm going to put those next to each other on the fall leaf next to the pumpkin on the other side. And I thought that looked so nice like this. It's like they're just sticking out from underneath the pumpkin, or just laying next to the pumpkin, I mean. And then I took this little mini mum from the Dollar Tree. It's like this really bright orange color, and I'm going to stuff that kind of behind the pumpkin and the pine cones. See? It's really pretty like that. And now I'm going to add some beautiful fall berries right there in front of my pumpkin, just as you see on the other one. And see, you can make these different if you want, like from each other, but still be like a matching set. Like for instance, with the one that I'm making here, I did an acorn and a pomegranate on the left side, and on the other one I did a mini mum and an acorn instead of the pomegranate. So you see, you can change up just a few things and it still looks like a set, very pretty. And right here I'm just kind of like replacing some berries that might have fallen off, because these are old. Like I said, I've had these in my stash even for years, and I'm just, fixing them up a little bit. And I'm just placing them like kind of, you know, in a row, like in a line in front of the pumpkin. It just helps it to look really nice and fill it out really nicely. And you could even like add berries just around other parts too if you wanted, but I just wanted it in the front here. And it's coming together nicely. And then I took another berry because I saw kind of a bald spot and I just wanted to fix that since I was able to. And there you have it, a really cute little hay bale with a pumpkin arrangement on top. I really hope you guys like these DIYs or crafts, however you say it. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I love you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. God bless you all. Bye-bye.